What's going on, guys? This is Martyrs Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Bloodborne Commentary. Alright, so I'm breaking out of hibernation. It's been a few months. As a matter of fact, the last Bloodborne related video that I uploaded was showcasing Senduki's arcane character. Right, and at that time I was pretty much worn out. I had like 4 or 5 builds, all chalice dungeons done. I didn't really have anything to do after getting all the gems that I needed for my weapons. Right, so after I got done with all the chalice dungeons, the only thing I have left to do is PvP. But in my opinion, the PvP really lacked depth. Right, I mean, the gun spam without punishment, a gem system that really had a lot of potential, but for whatever reason wasn't fully developed, at least in my opinion. Small variety in builds, small variety of weapons, kind of all these things grouped together. It just didn't really add to that much longevity, in my personal opinion, in the same sense that Dark Souls 1 had. And I know right now, I'm kind of sounding like one of those Dark Souls 1 fanboys that can't let go of the quote-unquote good old days. But it simply is what it is. In Dark Souls 1, there were so many things that you can do. Right? You could have a pure physical build. You could have a physical pyro, physical magic, physical, with faith miracles. You could do a pyro miracle, pyro magic, magic faith like Leo ring. I mean, you could do pretty much anything. And the fact that there were so many variations of builds and variety of weapons and armors is what basically kept me going for so long. So as I approach Bloodborne, obviously a smaller variety of weapons, obviously a smaller variety of weapon choices, a gem system, as I said before, this, at least in my opinion, not fully developed. It just really wasn't that much depth, so I didn't really have that many things to talk about. But here we go, right around the corner. The DLC is soon to be released, and as a matter of fact, it's going to be released in 2 days. Right, I've been checking out some of the videos. Well, I can't really say that. Mostly just speculation videos and some of the trailers. And I'm really hoping that the additions of some of these hunter tools and weapons, and hopefully they continue to work on the gem system. I'm hoping that these things will add more depth than what we had, and seeing that we have more weapons, I'm pretty sure that it will. But at the end of the day, most people are going to flock to what they determine to be, the most OP items, which I don't have a problem. It's just for players like me, I really like a lot of variety, and I'm really hoping that the DLC will help to produce more variety, at least in my personal experiences. Right. So I will definitely start to upload more videos relating to Bloodborne. I'm actually really excited. Right, really excited. I've seen some footage. I've heard some of the interviews. Some of the speculation videos from uploaders, and everything that I've seen really looks good. I mean, as I've always said, the PvE in this game, in my personal opinion, is like a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. I really love the PvE. I just really think that they should have, took the time to develop the PvP a little more. Right, but one thing that I will say, in all fairness, after being away from Bloodborne for so long and recently coming back to it, you actually start to appreciate it, much more than what I did back in the past. Because I would say within the last week I've been playing much more, because when I kind of, brushed the dust off, and I'm like, wow, I mean, I've kind of been missing out. And it's just kind of like one of those things where sometimes being away from something that once overwhelmed you, sometimes being away from it and coming back, you help to, it kind of helps you to appreciate that thing. It's kind of like if you leave it and you come back and you still have that feeling like, well, you know, this is kind of crap, it's probably best if you leave that thing alone. But if you take a break from something, you know, and then once you come back, you're like, wow, this is actually a good thing. Sometimes that's all you need, just a little break. So at least in my personal opinion, the nice break that I had playing Killzone, going to Destiny like some kind of crazed fanboy was the necessary break for me, because within the last week or so that I've been playing Bloodborne, I've really been enjoying myself, and I'm definitely looking forward to the DLC and everything that it has to offer. Right, so I mean, it is what it is. You guys can see the brigade is still wheeling and dealing. Now the Ligarius wheel currently is my favorite weapon, the Ligarius wheel and the hunter axe. Those are my two. Well, I like the hammer too, you know, hammer is up there too, but I would say the Ligarius wheel and the hunter axe. So I'm still wheeling and dealing as always. I will do some random invasion videos, because I can imagine that the community, you know, is going to resurrect, you know, kind of like me. It's definitely going to resurrect with the release of the DLC, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot of invasions, you know, hitting the dungeons, you know, hitting some of these community type things. Shout out to Dark Lord Sin. And the thing is, one thing about Sin that I can definitely respect, right? And this is one thing that I noticed even not playing Bloodborne anymore, right? Because I follow him on Twitch, and as a matter of fact, let me just give him a quick plug. Just in case you guys aren't familiar with Dark Lord Sin, go ahead, follow his channel on Twitch. He does a lot of, you know, Chalice Dungeon runs, tournaments, fight clubs. As a matter of fact, I'll put a link to his Twitch in the description box. Definitely a person that you want to follow if you aren't already following him on Twitch. Right, but one thing, like I said before, that I really respect about Sin is he definitely helped to maintain, you know, a certain level of activity with this game, because almost every time that I'm on his channel, even when I wasn't actively playing it, he's hosting a fight club, he's hosting a tournament, he's talking about the ins and out of the game. You know, he's doing challenge dungeons. And sometimes that's really what you need in the community. Just a few individuals, you know, even if it's not 100 of them. You know, sometimes you can have 2 or 3. But as long as they're helping to keep the community alive, that's really all you need. So I definitely respect that guy for helping to keep the community alive. And I'm not saying that he's the only one. He's just the main one that I know of. I mean, I've been knowing Sin, I mean, since Dark Souls 1. As a matter of fact, we did a battle of the uploaders together. Right? So Sin and I have a long history. Right? So I'm not neglecting any other contributors. It's just I've known him for so long, and it's just one of those things where I've basically been keeping track. Right? So shout out to him. Shout out to everyone else in the community who's been keeping it alive after all these months. And like I said before, I will be making my return, willing and dealing with the Ligarius will. Looking forward to some of the other weapons, like the buzzsaw in particular. Definitely look like a weapon I want to get my hands on. And you know, I know all the you know, big shots are going to be flocking to the Moonlight Holy Blade. I will eventually get to that, but I mean, at least in Bloodborne, I really love the strength weapons. Right, so I will definitely gravitate to those, and I will experiment. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to experiment with all of them, right? Because what I'm looking for is more depth. So I definitely will. I mean, any of you guys that remember me from Dark Souls 1, experimenting with a wide variety of weapons was always my thing. You know, there were some guys in Bloodborne who would make complaints, you know, about Bloodborne, and their arguments would be, well, look at the lack of weapons. But when you look at those guys' record, they didn't really experiment themselves. But anyone who knows me would know that the brigade, you know, I love to experiment. Right? So, okay, so that's enough rant. End of story. I've been away for a while. I'm coming back. I'm looking forward to the DLC. I'm hoping you guys will be here with me experiencing the DLC. We can all do the same thing together. and within the next coming weeks I'll be uploading videos. Right now I will be pretty busy this week. I mean, I have to work, and then we have a holiday coming up, then we have Black Friday, so it's going to be a lot of shopping. But best believe I will be releasing videos. So thanks for everyone who's been sending me messages on PSN or messaging me in the comments of various videos. I really appreciate you guys' support, concern, asking in my live. I really appreciate that. But I'm done with my hiatus, so I'll be back. So hey, until next time, Martyrs Brigade is out.